You can hear me okay? Can everyone hear me okay? All right, perfect. Perfect. All right, thank you, everybody. Bear with me. This is going to be my second webinar, my first one that I've actually ran. So if you like stop hearing me, or if you can't see my screen or anything like that, just shoot me a message real quick so I can get on top of that for you. I spent a lot of time going through all the questions, not only the questions that were on the Facebook group and the shared doc, but also a bunch of people sent me individual emails and a bunch of people put in help desk tickets. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get the best value out of our time together and answer the most questions. So if I miss something, I'm going to consider the Facebook group something to fall back on. So if I miss something in there, feel free. There's a whole bunch of really good people in there. There's a whole bunch of really good SEOs in there. Okay, so some of the stuff that you guys are asking me is really has nothing to do with PBNs. It's completely off topic. So I'll answer some of those types of questions, but as this is not a comprehensive, let's learn SEO course, I'm not going to, dig too deep into that. Again, I've compiled kind of the things that it looked to me were being asked the most, and so that's what I'm going to go with. I want to start today by saying that the first thing really, as far as domain safety and PBN safety, is starting off with the right domains. Okay, so if you'll look here on the screen, I'll make this available. This is a list of some brokers that I use. I don't get any kind of kickbacks from them. Nobody's giving me free domains or any kind of percents or affiliate fees or anything like that. Nothing wrong with that, okay? But everyone that's on this list is someone that I've bought at least a couple of domains from. Most on the list I've bought multiple domains from. So what we have here is a list of places where these are pretty much safe domains, meaning that you can pretty much go there, and if a domain is on their list, you can buy it, and you don't have to do a whole lot of research after that, okay? So there's a bunch of places online, just so you know, that have decent domains, but they make them in bulk, or they buy them in bulk, and so those you can also get good deals, but those you have to really go in and check afterwards. And a lot of those places will give you your money back or swap them out, if they give you a bad domain. But they don't tell you that up front. So the first place to start with a safe network is with safe domains. So this is a good list. I'll add to it as I come. Just a little bit about each one of these, or just a couple. Heist domains, very highly rated. They also have a membership site where they have some really good training inside. So I suggest that you go look that over, whether you're a beginner or whether you're advanced. Some good training in there. Pure Quality Domains, also some excellent training available there also on how to select domains, how to set up your network, things like that. Both of those are very good sources. Ninja Rankings, Adrian, great guy, great domains. PR Nader, these have some really good domains. There's not a whole lot of TLDs though if you're American. So that's the deal with them. But they have a ton of really good, French domains and things like that. So check them out, especially if you need domains that are not, like .com, .net. Like if you're looking for other, domains, that's a good place. TB Solutions, Tom, probably most of you know Tom. Tom is probably the largest domain vendor on this list as far as his stock. He also tends to be kind of pricey on some. So, his domains are good. He has a big selection. So, if you go through these other ones and you can't find what you're looking for, I would probably go to Tom and see if he's got something. Okay? So, like I said, I'll make this list available to everybody in the group. So now on to, the meat. We're a little bit into this. So I think overall the number one question that I've been getting that's something that I maybe should have put into the course that I didn't, so I'm going to go ahead and answer this first. A lot of people are asking me about, when they go sign up for an account, if they're getting various verification requests from the registrar or the host. Depending on what you're trying to do and where you're trying to do it from, there's lots of variables involved in that. So I can't answer every possible scenario. It's just not possible to do. If you are trying to, if you're in one country and, you're logging in and setting up a site in a different country and, things don't match, the IP addresses don't match, the emails don't match, all that kind of stuff, sometimes you're going to get these verification requests. A lot of times you're going to get them just because, okay? So the basic process would be this. So, for example, the site that I used, I used the GoDaddy account, and you're going to get something that looks kind of like this. So thank you for being our valued customer. Your account has been selected, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So what you're going to do here, I've already done this, so I'm not going to do it live, but when you click on this link, they're going to ask you to send them some information. And what they're really wanting is a picture ID and some information. So what I do is I just say, this is a client that I represent, and I'm registering on their behalf, whether it's the domain or whether it's the hosting account. And then I send them a picture ID. This is not something that's public record. It's not something that you have to worry about. Okay, we're not really hiding from GoDaddy so much. We're hiding from Google. Okay, or whoever the host is or whoever the registrar is. And so what you'll find after you get that is you will get an email. Let's see. So there's the request, and then not too far after that, you will get something that looks like this. We received your request, and this is after I answered their question and said, yeah, this is what I'm doing, and here's why. Give you a nice incident number. And then after that, you'll see, I don't know if you can see the time here, but this all happened like literally within an hour, okay? Thank you for your inquiry. No further action is required at this time. Your account has been unlocked and is available for use, okay? So this was like not even an hour from when I got the email to when I sent them went through the verification, okay? So that's kind of the second part of this. Second part of this is a lot of people have been asking. The videos show you how to do, I didn't do a bulk video to show how to do this in bulk. It was really meant to be here's a single process. So that's why I showed it that way. If you want to have a GoDaddy account as an example, and you want to bring the domains into that account and then set up unique contact information for each one, it's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I do it. Everyone that I know pretty much does it. We normally have, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 GoDaddy accounts, depending on what, you want, how many you have. So, say, keep 20, 30 of them in one, it's all good. Okay, so that's kind of the first thing. So if you're going through HostGator, then you're going to see something similar, some of these other hosts, and I'll tell you, some of these, little, baby hosting companies, if they're giving you problems with it, if they check you for verification, and then they don't like what you say, then they refund you. Okay, so that's all that they can do. So if you do what I tell you to do, and they don't like it, then no biggie. You just grab it and throw it somewhere else. Okay, this is all going to happen before you've moved the domain or before you've set up the hosting, before you've set up the page, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's kind of the first part. So just in general, though, when you're going through and you're registering these accounts, the more kind of sneaky you're being, the more this kind of stuff is going to come up. Okay, so just be ready for it. I have never not had an account go through. So far, I guess it's possible. If you are in a foreign country, you may have to use proxies to do this, or you may need to get creative on some of these accounts. You may need to buy Facebook pages accounts, or you may need to buy already verified GoDaddy emails accounts, already verified Gmail accounts or Facebook accounts. Okay, if you need to do that kind of stuff, you can do that on Fiverr. You can do that on, there's a site called SEOclerks.com that's pretty good. And then if you just post it in the Facebook group, some people will throw up some solutions. There's a bunch of solutions that are available for people that sell these accounts very, very cheaply. Okay, so there's always a way around the system. All right. All right, I think that's question number 1 pretty well handled. So let me go on to question number 2. Question number 2 had to do a lot of questions about using RankWiz to post to your blog. And a lot of them had to do with, how do I, what about spun content, okay, that kind of stuff. Okay, so here's the basic answer. The way that I show you in the course, but I didn't actually go through and do it step by step, so maybe I'll go back and revise that. The reason I didn't do this step by step is because every theme is different, so if I did it one way and then you had a different theme, it would have looked different possibly. But what I do is this. I'm going to set the home page to show under the settings. I'm going to set it to show pages, okay? Static page is one of the options, okay? And so my home page is going to be like that, but then I'm going to set my blog as a category. In the categories in WordPress, I'm going to have a category called blog, okay? That's where I'm going to post my automated content to, okay? So it's not on the home page, just to be crystal clear. The automated content goes to the blog. So it is on the same domain, but it's not on the same page as the page that have links, okay? So on those, the second big question everybody wants to know about spun content. I use the best spin on Spin Rewriter to use article builder articles all the time to do this process with, okay? So the key that I found with testing is that you do not want to have spun content on the pages where you have your outbound links, okay? So that's what I found to be the deal. I've even tested this with using your blog on a subdomain, and really honestly, there's a whole course that we could talk about having to do with that. I know people that run auto blogs on the subdomain, and the primary domain stays spam-free, it never gets penalized, and they're doing all kinds of black hat crap on the subdomain and getting away with it. But for this practical purpose that we're talking about here, your home page is going to have your page set. It will have your outbound links on it, and then your blog will have your user-generated content, your auto-generated content. Remember, the point of this is not for links. The point of the RankWiz posting is to give fresh content to your site and to get social signals when you use Jetpack to syndicate it. Okay, so another thing people have asked about, isn't it too big of a footprint to leave all of the links, have all the links coming off of the home page? I have done a little bit of testing with this, but not enough to be conclusive. Again, this is a game of checks and balances, so we want to have more good checks and less bad checks. So what I personally do, I absolutely use internal pages as long as they have juice to them to send out links. So I absolutely do that, but I follow the rule I was saying before. Those pages have original content. So, if you get a new site, the first thing you need to do really even before you buy it is you need to run it through and see how many pages it's got that have juice to it. I very rarely buy a domain that only has one juice page. It happens, but normally you at least get 3 or 4. Almost any expired domain you find is going to have homepage link, and then usually like the About Us page will have link juice, and then normally if it's a halfway decent domain, it'll have some inner pages that have traffic to it, which then give it some juice. So maybe there was an article that was posted that got some traction, or maybe there was a resource that was shared, okay, stuff like that. So definitely, you can definitely use internal pages that have juice to post links to your site from. Just make sure that any page that has links to your sites does not have spun content. So I hope that part's clear. I will tell you that the last couple of weeks I've been having nothing but heck troubles with RankWiz. So I am in the process of getting FCS Networker up and seeing if it's any better. I'm not giving up on RankWiz. I'm not canceling my account or moving my blogs. But I'll be honest with you, I'm testing because the system, when it works, is fantastic and I love it. But it's gotten it's just got, as they add features, it's like they don't test it very well, so it gets more and more buggy. So if it comes up that I'm moving over to FCS, then I will add that to the training area. I will do the exact same thing with the FCS that I'm doing with RankWiz, okay, if that happens to come up. So, all right, let me go to the next one. Okay, authority outbound links. This is really, again, not sort of part of PBN safety, sort of not, but I got this question like a ton. So one thing that I want you to do on your sites, when you're doing your authority outbound links, and this is for your any site, money site, PBN site, doesn't matter, make logical outbound links, okay? Knock off the just, hey, let's just pick a Wikipedia article every time, okay? Don't do that. Stop, okay? There's a whole bunch of authoritative sites that you can link out to, and link out to them into content. You know, if you're talking about, you know, you got a blog and it's about, you know, photography, you know, and you say, you know, hey, this is a great picture that I took, and, you know, I'm hoping to get it featured on, and then put, you know, whatever, photography.com, right? Whatever a good authority site is. Okay, so make it look real, make it look natural. Again, in the resources, I'm going to put a list. So a real easy way to find these sites is use the site:domain.com and then your keyword. So this, I'm going to put this in quotation marks, okay, but it's not, all right? You won't do that in the real search. You'll put this in Google, okay? So let's just say that I had a site about payday loans, okay, and I needed an authority outbound link, okay? So like in this example, I would do site:cnn.com space payday loan, okay? And what will happen is you'll find a ton of authoritative articles, okay, that you can link out to, all right? And again, I'm going to give you a mini list, but if you look through these, I just grabbed a couple. These are news sites, you know, and a site like CNN and New York Times, Washington Post, and, you know, I put a couple in here for you guys that are not U.S., The Guardian, The Independent, BBC, also, you know, Australia here. There's several. I mean, you should know probably what the authority sites are, you know, in your country. But this is what you're going to do with your outbound links, okay, for your authority. So please don't just put a Wikipedia link on every page. And also, you know, multiple outbound authority links, okay? Multiple outbound authority links are just fine, okay? And so, hey guys, I'm not going to answer any questions till the very end, so I will definitely do that. Let me finish this part, and then I will go to the questions. Let's see. All right, images. That's another thing that came up. People were asking about images. The new Google image search and all that, yada yada. Okay, so in the videos I showed you to just go grab one off of Google Images. I stick by that. I do it. I don't see why it's a problem, but if it is a problem, so here's my nice little lady here, Zoila, okay, that I grabbed her image. So let's say that this you're afraid that somehow Zoila Henson, because she's an actual person, is going to find this, and I don't know what she's going to do. She's going to file a DMCA takedown or something, saying that's not my website. Not really sure, but regardless of where you got this picture, okay, I'm doing this on a Windows PC, so I'm assuming it's similar in a Mac, or you Mac guys will know how to do this. Right-click on it. I go to Properties. Okay, I go to Security. Excuse me, I go to Details. And down here you see Remove Properties and Personal Information. Okay, so when I click on this handy-dandy little thing, create a copy with all possible properties removed. And I say OK, and I say OK, and now I got Zoila copy here, okay? And this is stripped of everything. So I know you guys don't steal, so you know, I'm sure you don't steal like Shutterstock or anything like that. But if you know someone that does, I don't either. But if you know someone that may borrow some images that they're not supposed to, then this is how you do that, okay? So you can do this image. Now, if you're talking about the actual picture verification deal, you know, I'm not worried about that even at all. But if you guys are, you know, go grab some pictures off Facebook, go grab some clip art, or not clip art, but, you know, photo stock, Shutterstock. Use that. There's a million ways around this. Don't get tripped up over this, okay? In the example, I actually used her and her face, really just because I was recording a video. If you need images, you know, you can type in, you know, whatever, some random name, and then whatever image comes up, you can grab the image and then you can tie it to a different name, okay? If you're worried about, you know, her actually like finding my blog and like reporting me or something. It hasn't happened in, you know, 5-6 years that I've been doing this, but hey, anything's possible. So let's see. All right, I think that's all the main stuff that I wanted to go over. So let me go here to some of the questions that are on here now. Let's see. I am going to do, I am recording this, and so as long as it works, I'm definitely going to point this in the members area. Let's see. Do you recommend one domain per unique profile? Yes. But again, I'm talking about the contact details. So Scott asked that question. Do you recommend one domain per unique profile? So Zoila only owns one domain and one site. Yes, that's what I suggest. However, again, if you want to have a GoDaddy account that's got 50 different domains in it, that's fine. But each individual unique domain needs to have an individual unique human persona attached to it. Let's see. Automated content does not link out to the money site. That's correct. Guys, I have to, I apologize. I have to put this on hold for 1 second. Give me 60 seconds to grab a drink, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I'm back. All right. Can everybody hear me again? Can you shoot me a 1, please, if y'all can hear me? Just want to make sure. All right. All right, got it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. All right, so let me go back up to, all right, let's see. All right, I'm having, James, I'm having difficulty finding emails through Fiverr. I can't find anyone selling email accounts that are not Gmail. Okay, let's, we'll get that in the Facebook group, okay? We'll get that in the Facebook group. I actually build email accounts. I have software that does that. If you are using FCS Networker, they actually create email accounts for you. It's part of the account creation process. So that's something you can use. But I will get you all some resources for that. There's a ton of places to get email accounts. And yeah, right now I don't really care for the Gmail. I probably use, I like Yahoo and I like Outlook Mail a little bit better. Okay, let's see. Okay, so here's a big one. Here's a big question. Okay, everybody wants to know if you've already got your network and, you know, all these things are not right, what do we do now? Well, the answer to the question is I don't know. I have not had any like big data to support anything, so all I can tell you is theory. In theory, I would move them over and, you know, and hope for the best. I might even push them to, you know, create the new account and then push it to that, or maybe even quote unquote sell it to the new account. So the answer is, you know, if you've got 100 sites and they all have the same email address associated with them and they've been up for 6 months or a year or whatever, does Google already know about them? I don't know. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I wish I could be definitive here, but I don't have enough data to really give you a straight answer, so I'm not going to. If it was my network and I had some sites that were pretty good and they hadn't been penalized, and, you know, you just see some of these holes based on the training, I would go ahead and just start fixing those holes is what I would do. You know, if it's low quality domains or ones that you can do without, you know, I don't know if you want to keep those or not, but, you know, definitely high quality ones, I would do it. If you haven't been hit yet, you know, probably you're fine. You know, again, this is all about a balance. You know, this is all about a balance. So just because you had one thing that you were doing, you know, maybe that wasn't the best process doesn't mean that, you know, you hit the radar yet. Okay. So that would be the answer to that. And let me go back up here. All right. Someone asked, who do I use for spinning? I personally use Spin Rewriter. I have tried all of them, and in my opinion, there's hands down no comparison between Spin Rewriter and any of the other ones that are available. There is a discount. You can get like a lifetime account for that for, I think it's $200, maybe $300. It's either like $197 or $297. And so if you sign up for like the monthly account, then usually within a month or two after you log into that sucker, they'll pop up with the lifetime discount. And then, I'd just grab it because I use SpinRider in a bunch of tools. SpinRider is integrated into pretty much every tool that's out there. So it's a good investment. And you can even actually use it if you take PLR articles and you give them a really good spin, a really high quality spin in SpinRider, and then you spend maybe 10 or 15 minutes on it, you can come up with pretty much an article that'll pass visual inspection and is unique enough, to use as content, as like, legit content. Especially if you grab, 2 or 3 PLR articles that are on the same same topic, same niche, then you can go through and kind of figure out a logical way to order those. So I would highly suggest getting a SpinRider. Let me look. Okay, so looking for more that just have a bunch of them. Let's see. Okay, when I talked earlier about the inner pages, as far as seeing if they have juice, maybe I'll do a separate little post for that. Maybe I'll do a separate little short video and post it to the members area for that. The quick answer is you can look for PR. So, and again, I know PR is just one number. Okay, I'm very much aware of that, but it still has a little bit of value to it. So let me I'm gonna pull up Screaming Frog here, all right, give me 1 second. Pull this down. All right, so I'm in Screaming Frog, and you don't have to use Screaming Frog. There's plenty of them, but anything that spiders like this, I do CNN.com just as an example. All right, so I'm gonna run this. All right, I'm gonna stop that because obviously CNN.com, we'd be there forever. So let me log over to here, and let me move some of this around. Sorry, give me a second. I'm having trouble moving between GoToMeeting and seeing my actual screen. All right. Let me do a different one. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Let me do NetPeek. Sorry, guys. Bear with me for 1 second. All right. So again, CNN.com. And all right, I'm gonna hit that for a second. All right, well, that's what happens when I try to do something live. All right, so let's pause it again. All right, and now I'm gonna hit calculate PR. So I run the spider on it, and I'm gonna calculate PR, and then when I go all the way over here to PR, I didn't go very deep, but let me sort it like this. So you can sort it by the highest. Okay, I didn't go very deep. What you'll find in your sites is this. When you get over here to this PR, the higher the number in here, the better. So your home page is typically going to have the most. But, if you threw your average expired domain through here, probably you're going to have 3 to 5 pages. Okay, so like I didn't let this go. Obviously, CNN's probably got 10,000 different PR pages. But you can then take this little sucker here, and you can just use the export feature. Okay, then you can check those out in whatever tool that you'd like. All right, and that's kind of the basic thing, but maybe I can do a video that goes into that a little bit more. So let me go back to questions. All right, can everybody still hear me okay? All right. All right, let's see. Perfect, thank you. Any experience, let me see, any experience of rescuing de-indexed sites by changing all these? Yeah, absolutely. So I am going to have, one of two things is going to happen in the next week. I'm either going to do some videos on recovering expired or recovering penalized domains, or there's actually some really good training by some of our partners. And so I haven't looked at it thoroughly yet, but I may just ask them permission to borrow some of their content and put it into the members area. There's two, to make this short, there's two basic kinds of penalties that you're going to get. One's going to be an algorithmic one, and one's going to be a manual one. And so if you've been hit, you're going to log into Google Webmaster Tools. You're going to go and you're going to see if there's a manual spam penalty in there. Okay, if there is a manual spam penalty, then that means that the only way to get that removed is to go in and file a reconsideration request. And I'll tell you that you'll win 99% of the time. Okay, if you file that request, most of the time you'll get the domain back. Okay, so it's not the end all. It's not the kiss of death. So the process would be like this, basically in a nutshell. If you suspect a domain has been penalized, you're going to pull it up with the info or the site info:site.com, see what comes up. If things come up besides your homepage, that's a pretty good indicator that you've been de-indexed. If that happens, then you're going to want to go get an email account. You're going to want to go verify with Google Webmaster Tools, and that will allow you access. You'll verify your site for Google Webmaster Tools. That will allow you access to the site. And then once you're inside, you'll be able to see, if there's a manual action or not. And if there is, it's going to tell you what it is. And there's different types. But basically at that point, your mission is to fix whatever it is they're not happy with. So, if it says it's pure spam, if it says, it's going to tell you there's a bunch of different things. But basically, you probably know why you got de-indexed. If it's your site, you probably know. You probably used spun content, or you had it on SEO hosting, or you did some of these things now, hopefully, that you know not to do. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to fix everything that Google doesn't like. So if you're on SEO hosting, get off of SEO hosting. Get it onto a regular hosting account. If you have spun content, remove the spun content. Replace it with real content, okay? And the key is this. I have helped clients do this. I can't tell you how many times. And people that I coach, I've helped them do this. So when I file these reconsideration requests, I act like I'm a complete idiot, okay? So, when I send the reconsideration request, my email is going to sound something like, hey guys, I bought this website and my web guy told me that I did something that y'all didn't like, and so y'all made it where people couldn't find me, and I don't know what this is all about, but I really would like to have my website back. My web guy told me that it looked like he didn't like the articles I was using because someone else was already using them or something, so I've put new ones on. Just sound dumb, okay? Because they really don't want to penalize legitimate sites. They really don't want to penalize small business owners. Okay, they're really out to get us. They're really out to get you and me. So, you can try the super polished approach, and that probably would work too, but I've had 100% success with getting sites brought back up. I'll tell you the only thing I've never tried, and probably wouldn't, to be honest with you, if you had a site that was part of a public blog network, so let's say you were in Authority Link Network or Build My Rank, and that site got killed, I would just let it go. Okay, I wouldn't waste 30 seconds in trying to recover that site. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's the ultimate kiss of death. I've said before that there's not a single factor really that will get your site killed. There's a score. It's a variety of factors. That's probably the only real exception right there. If you are directly linked to a public blog network that Google de-indexes, that domain is probably dead, and it's probably dead forever. So I would just move on. Get it out of any accounts I had. If it's in a hosting account, I would turn that account off. I would completely disassociate myself from that. Okay. So let me go back to, let's see. Let me see. All right, I'm sorry, I'm looking for let's see. Can you share your spin rewriter settings? No, you don't really need that, to be honest with you. Once you log into Spin Rewriter, when you do the spins, and it'll take you 15 minutes to get used to the system. It's really easy. It's going to ask you if you want, basically a low, a medium, or a high quality spin. The higher the spin, the less unique it is. Okay, but the more readable it is. So there's a handoff there. So and again, remember when I'm telling you to feed these new articles to the site, I think some people have asked for how many. There is no set number. Okay, just vary it. Do one a week, do two a week, do one week, two the next week. You don't have to do a million posts to this thing. The thing is that Google knows when you're posting new content because it's going to get indexed because of the social media accounts. Okay, so that's kind of what I've done with a lot of this. The process that I follow, if I went into explaining exactly what's going on with each step, it would probably give you a lot more information. But if you just follow the process, I've made this better. I've refined it and refined it and refined it and refined it. So, for instance, when you post that new article and it goes out to Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and all that, the chances of it getting indexed are like 1,000%. Okay, it's pretty much for sure going to get indexed, which means that Google, bot has to go crawl your site. Okay, so if you post once a week or twice a week, it means that Google bot is visiting your site on a frequent basis, which is a ranking signal. Okay, it's something they want to see. They want to see fresh content. Okay, they just do. They want to see, social signals. All right, and I gave you that, really long document, the internal document from Google about the quality signals, and I gave you a little PDF. I'm going to add one more to it that's kind of in between the two, a lot closer to the small one than the big one. There was an article that came out probably about a month ago that was really good, that basically kind of condensed that $200 or the 200-word one. It wasn't just that. That wasn't the only place they got the content from. But basically that says, here's some things that we pretty much know, as much as we can know anything, about what are the good signals and what are some of the bad signals. Okay, so I am going to post that also into the members area. Let me see. So, that's a basic thing. I know I went over this in the algo video, but I want to say this again in case someone missed it. Remember that it's checks and balances, right? Remember that, what you're trying to do, you're trying to have as many positive things about your site, as many things that Google considers quality as you can to offset the negative ones, okay? Because there are going to be some negative ones. Probably your weakest thing as far as negative metrics, if you do it properly, is going to be interaction. That's going to be the thing that's going to kill most of the sites as far as the negative quality score. Okay, because your PBN sites probably aren't going to get a whole lot of people visiting them and clicking on them and going through them. Okay, so that's the main thing that we're overcoming here, and also negative link velocity. So if you have if you buy an expired domain and it's 5 years old, okay, and it hasn't got a link to it in 5 years, no traffic in 5 years, and all of a sudden now you've bought it and you've thrown up new content, and it's finally kind of alive again, well, you're going to be on the radar for that. Okay, I'm not saying that Google's going to look at it and go, oh, this must be, a PBN, site. But, that is going to be under a lot more, more of a glass, a looking glass, magnifying glass, excuse me, than a regular site. Okay, so that's why we're trying to kill it with these positive signals. And if you're not doing even the basics, then you're in the wrong business. If you've got a blog site right now, if you've got a PBN and it doesn't have at least a basic legal, quote unquote, legal pages on it, about us, contact us, then I don't know what you're doing, And as far as those pages go, I would probably make them pretty thick. I would make those pages, if you've got an about us, I would for sure have a picture. I would probably have 2 or 3 paragraphs of content, okay, on that. And there is software that you can use to automate that process. And if I had thought about this better, I would have shown it to you on this webinar. But I would have to log into one of my VPSs to do that, and it's just a pain in the ass to do live. So maybe on a future webinar if we do another one, or maybe in the members area. But there is a tool that's it's actually a tool that is meant to be used with SE Nuke, and it will create fake information to use for social bookmarks, to use as an author account, like in a resource box for a press release. It does all kinds of stuff, and that is excellent at creating. It creates basically like spun about us's and spun contact us's and stuff. So again, if I forget, please just post it in the Facebook group, at some point, say, hey, what was that tool? You can use the tool without SE Nuke. Okay, you don't have to use SE Nuke. It's meant for SE Nuke. But it's like SE Nuke Spinner, I think is what it's called. Something like that. But it's really good for your social bookmarks too. So let me go to Sam. He had a question. How important is it using non-WordPress platforms? And then you talked about the Hide My WordPress deal on Code Canyon. It's definitely a good idea to have diversity in your CMS. Okay, there's no question about that. There's definitely, a reason to do that. So what I personally do, I have, you can get a Drupal or a Joomla site. There's basically the same thing as WordPress. So you can find guys like on Fiverr, or definitely on Odesk, that can set these sites up for you, pretty cheap. Okay. So, you're talking it probably 30, 40, 50 bucks to set one of these up, whether it's WordPress or Joomla or Drupal or whatever. And since these sites really aren't going to change that much, it's not really going to be an ongoing deal for you. If you're a hands-on guy, then, and you don't have a staff or someone to make these for you, then go ahead and learn it. Joomla and Drupal, if you look at their control panels, they're laid out differently than WordPress. But it's kind of like if you know Word, you can use WordPerfect, or you can use Write, or you can use Notepad. Okay, they're a similar system, so it's not exactly the same. So you may have to look up something like, how do I do this in Drupal, right? But once you know it, you should pretty much know it. They all basically, they're content management systems. The point of them is to have a basic, website and to be able to publish content. So I would highly suggest that some percentage of your network be, Drupal or Joomla. Really, honestly, use any platform you want. There's some really, 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 really easy website, platforms inside of cPanel. If you have a modern cPanel and you go inside of your scripts folder, I mean, you've got, I don't know how many, 30 or 40 different ones probably. Everything from Moodle, which is used for like online learning, to, Wicca to, I mean, there's just a ton of them. And most of these are super easy to set up, okay? So Simon, thanks for asking that question. I think it's a good one. As far as that plugin on hiding it, yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good idea to hide that. Just make sure that folder is hidden. I haven't tested that plugin, but if you're going to have a plugin that hides your plugins, make sure that folder itself is in fact hidden. So, one of the things that I like to do for that, I go to what theme is that? Yeah, what WP theme is that? I think there's a couple of sites like this, but this is the one that I always use. And so, I'll type in here. Boy, let me think of a blog off the top of my head. Well, here you go. A lot of you guys are coming from Alex's site. So, excuse me. So, as an example, as you come through here, here's the plugins, right? like locker, ultimate under construction, post skin, Pb post. Okay, so you want to make sure that if you're using that hide my WordPress plugin, that it's not coming up in here, because all this site does is just read what's publicly available in the code if you were to right click on it and view it. Okay, in that or the plugin folder. Okay, so I would probably test that, and if you do it, that's probably a good idea. Try to be as diverse as possible. Is my overall thing. Just try to be diverse as possible wherever it makes sense. All right. Let's see. What about creating a PBN out of only Web 2.0 properties? Yeah, you absolutely can create a PBN out of Web 2.0 properties. There's going to be some issues with that, though. My main issue with using Web 2.0s and calling it a PBN is that I don't control those properties. I may control them now, but I don't know what's going to happen in the future. To use an example, Squidoo pages. Squidoo, there was lots of people who were making a ton of money off Squidoo, and then they decided that they didn't like what people were doing, and they started killing links and killing accounts. And so, that's my only problem with that. Also, like WordPress is notorious for killing accounts. And so I think that using Web 2.0s as tier 2s and up is great. Okay, but don't think that they are a replacement for your tier 1. Your tier 1 PBNs, they need to be sites that are 100% within your control, because you need to be able to control that juice. You need to be able to control, the anchor text. You need to be able to control, all the things about that. So I will tell you, though, if you're starting off and, you're pretty light on budget or whatever, having 3 or 4 sites that are, cheaper, if you go to Heist Domains and buy $400-ish sites from them, okay? Spend $400 on that. Buy 4 sites that are, roughly $100 each, okay? If you put those up and you set them up properly, and then you set up a tier 2 of, say, 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 Web 2.0 properties, you can rank, that's a pretty good system, for especially for local stuff, okay? That's, probably more than enough to rank most of your local stuff. All right, you don't need to spend $1 million. As far as, buying these, $20 domains and all that, I don't know about that. It may work, but I've never tried it. I can't imagine, that that's going to be super powerful. Remember that the power of the domain, the PBN, is coming from the links that are going to it. So, a lot of people get kind of spun around by, this metric or that metric, and it's actually funny to kind of watch, for someone that's been doing it as long as I have. Over the last 2 years, we've gone from PR to PA to DA to TF in that order. And if you ask the domain brokers on the call here, they can verify that for me, for you. That, and so, the guys that sell the domains typically are really knowledgeable about domains and why they have power and how, but they also have customers. So, if it's popular to sell PR, then that's what they're going to advertise, and it's not that they're being, bad or anything. They're advertising what their market thinks is important, but if you stick with the good ones, stick with the ones that I suggest, okay, you're not going to go wrong with those, okay, because they are going to look at the domains and the ones that they're going to offer to you, regardless of what the fad is. They are going to offer to you the ones that are good quality, okay. So I can't stress that enough. If you have the time to go find your own domains and evaluate them, then by all means do that, okay. There's a ton of good resources for that. But for most people, I would tell you, that unless you're just really on a shoestring budget, man, save your time. These guys are not marking these domains up 1,000,000%, especially not, the top ones that I mentioned. I don't know what they're paying for them, but if you go buy a domain for $100 on Heist and or Pure Quality, they didn't spend $1 on that domain. I don't know what they spent. They probably spent 30, 40, $50 on it. Okay, I mean, so this is not like some crazy markup. Think about your time. If it takes you an hour to save $20, did you just save anything? For me, it's no. For me, I'd rather just go to a trusted source. When I buy from these people on the list, I don't even check them. I know that they're good. I just do it. and there's only a few, that I buy from, that are like that, So let me, all right, let me look. Okay, David asked about using .coms to rank, other like .coms, .aus, things like that. Right now, I think there's a transition going on, and I think that more and more and more, it's going to be localized is going to be much more powerful, and that's why I tell you guys in the training, that when I want to rank a local person, I almost always, if possible, get local hosting for them as part of my PBN, because I think that that's more and more, it's going to be more and more important. So question is, if I'm ranking, Australian websites, I'm going to be using Australian domains to do it, okay, as a general rule, and that goes across the board, okay. I'm not saying that you can't rank, a German site with Australian links. You absolutely can, and it absolutely can be done. But as far as best practices is, it makes more sense. It's more natural, to have, .coms or, Australian domains linking to other Australian domains. It just makes sense. It's just logical. And again, if we're talking about the algorithm, we're talking about the filter, we're talking about trying to beat, a software program, there's got to be a filter in there that's looking at, when does it make sense for a site in Australia to link to a site in Germany? Well, it does. There's a time and a place for that. There absolutely is a time and a place for that. But what percentage is that? It's probably not super high. If you have a website that's in Australia and you're an average website, then probably most of your links are coming from Australia. Probably. So, that's where we're going to get into more where our initial research needs to be done. If I'm trying to rank a site in Australia, I'm going to look at the SERP, right? I'm going to look and see, who am I trying to beat? I look at the top 3. Where are they getting their links from? If they're getting all their links from Germany, then guess what? That's what I'm going to do too. I'm going to go get all my links from Germany, okay? So, the strategy really is dependent on the SERP you're trying to take, but to answer the question point blank in general, I think that you should stick with local, as much as possible, okay? Let's see here. Let's see. Peter asked, what are your thoughts on curated content on Tier 1 PBNs? Curated content's great. Curated content's awesome. When you cite the source, there's really no such thing as a duplicate content penalty, and you can spend time looking that up, or you can just trust me, as long as you cite it properly. Some of the biggest websites in the world exist from curated content. Huffington Post, Yahoo, some of the very, the top ones, that's exactly where they get their content from. So what you want to do, you want to make it look something like this. Your post is going to be, hey guys, I found an interesting article about topic over here on site source, okay? And then you're going to paste it, and then you're going to put some comments at the end. So, you're going to say, hey, I agree with so-and-so, right? I agree with so-and-so about this. So what you're doing, think of it like a sandwich, okay? Think of it like a sandwich. When you do curated content, you got to have the bread, okay? The content is the meat, okay? And the bread is what you've got to have to make it legit. So you need to do the beginning, where you open it up, right? That's the bottom piece of bread. Then you put the meat in, which is what you're actually borrowing or curating, and then you have to close it out again with your unique content. Okay, you got to have that wrapper all the way around. You got to have the bread outside of the meat, because if you don't, then you may run into a duplicate content penalty or other things. The great thing about curated content, also, especially if you're using like WordPress, and if they're using WordPress, is they're going to get a notification, right? They're going to get a ping out, hey, you mentioned me, so you may get a track back for free, right? You may get, some good value out of it. So I'm a super big fan of curated content, and it's great on money sites. Let's see. Let me go through a few more. Reasonable number of outbound links. Okay, so this is something I meant to put on here. So again, remember, what I'm giving you is your best case scenario, your best practices, okay? But people are asking about theming, and they're asking about how to link out, okay? it'd be really cool if you could have these sites that, one site that could link out to 20 different clients and 20 different niches. If you do some really good brainstorming on how to theme your blog, you can get away with that to a point. But the more diverse the outbound links are, the more clever you need to be. Okay, and the more work you need to put into it. Because I'll tell you this, if you have a site, if your PBN site is about auto mechanics, okay, and everybody that you're logging out to has something to do with auto mechanics in some logical fashion, then you could link out to 20 or 30 different clients, okay, in the same niche, and you'd be perfect, okay? Wouldn't have a care in the world about that, okay? However, if you have a little site and it's about auto mechanics, and you start trying to link out to sites about poetry and other stuff, you're not going to have a whole lot of success with that. So I gave one example in the training about photography, maybe you guys can brainstorm in the Facebook group and kind of help each other come up with some more. But I'll tell you, like that. Photography has worked great for me because it's a logical reason for me to link out to different businesses, okay? But I'll tell you, I use that photography blog concept on multiple of my PBNs, but man, they're beautiful. Those blogs are beautiful. They're full of photography. They're full of, authority links to photography sites. The authors, quote unquote, on those have profile links on photography blogs and photography forums. Okay, so I put a lot of time and energy into that, okay? So, it's risk versus reward always, but just think about it, so here's the basic thing. If you want to try to use one blog to go to multiple topics, you got to be really smart about it. So I would advise you as much as possible to try to stick with themed blogs, for your clients. I would try to do that as much as possible. One more quick hint on that. Something that I do that I've worked for me very well is having local local directories. Okay, so many of you know probably I'm in the Dallas, Texas area in the United States, and so I have several directories here that are PBNs for me. Okay, so like let's say it's a let's just call it a business directory, okay? I'm not going to tell you what it is actually, but let's just say it's a business directory, okay? It's logical for a business directory to have different categories and link out to different people, okay? And there's directory themes that you can buy, business directory themes that you can buy that are fantastic, okay? So that's another, good way to do that, Also, charities are pretty good. So, if you have a charity themed blog, okay? You can find those from time to time, on expired domains. Find like, let's say there was a 10K run, okay, and it was for, diabetes, run for the cure. Excuse me for 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Anyway, to make a long story short, that's what you're going to want to do. You can get away with themed things is probably the best, but you can do general as long as you're smart about it. Let me do a couple more questions here real quick. Chase, I have not tried the Wayback Downloader yet. Actually, I did. I lied. I did it. I bought a thing, but I never really tested it. I'll look into that a little bit more and get back. I just have my guys rebuild those pages, is what I do. But it looks like a good tool. Maybe it would save you time to use that. Chase is asking about waybackdownloader.com, and that's a site where you can put a domain in, and it will download all the pages from a Wayback Machine, from Internet Archive. So it's a really good concept. Haven't used it though. Don't know if it works really well. So for right now, I'm basically rebuilding the pages really that have link juice to them. So I'll tell you something else too I didn't really put in the training, but something you really want to look for in these expired domains too is don't forget traffic, okay? Don't think about just links. Think about traffic also. So you can look up traffic stats for these, especially like if you're doing it yourself and you go to GoDaddy domains, you can actually sort them by traffic, okay? So traffic domains can be straight up 301, to other sites, to PBNs to power them up. Things like that, and then those inner pages too. Remember, if there's something on it. So, well, let me give you an example. So one of my high PR domains, one of my most powerful actually, it was about a city. Okay, it was an online magazine that had to do with a city, and there are a number of very large sites that cite it. Because it's got a really good city guide. Okay, so it's not Dallas, but just for fun, let's say it's Dallas. Okay, let's say it was DallasCityGuide.com. Okay, is what I bought, and on there's a page about Dallas restaurants. Okay, and there's a page about Dallas nightlife. Okay, well these pages are still, they're being linked out from super powerful sites. So like those cases, I recreate those pages exactly. Or if there's an article, I have another one that was like a political website. And there was a article that they wrote, like a scholarly journal, and it has lots of backlinks to it, and people still read it. I just grabbed that exact article and put it on there. So people are still going and still, still visiting that. I mean, that's the thing. When remember that the power from these age domains or these expired domains comes from the links. So you want to do everything you can to keep those links. If you have a handful of links that's giving you all your power, then do everything you can to keep them. Okay. Let's see. Let me do just a couple more. Hold on. We'll just do a couple more. Okay, so again, reasonable number of outbound links. You're going to hear different answers on this. I typically use fewer, but honestly, I don't count my authority links. I don't even really care about the authority links. I leave them as follow most of the time. Again, I think that goes against the conventional wisdom, but, I'm probably on an average PBN of mine, I'm probably going to have about 7 to 10, maybe, actual, links going out to money sites. That's all I use. I know people that use a lot more, and you can probably get a lot more bang for your buck if you do that. I just, I've been kind of doing things a certain way, and it's really important to me that my sites look real. It's really important to me that, at least on a cursory look, that you wouldn't think PBN, that you would think real site. Let's see. Let's see. Several people have asked about Link Juice Keeper, Spider Spanker, various things like that. I think that, again, variety is going to be the best way to go there. If you're worried about bots, then you can just have a really good htaccess file, which leaves no footprint at all. So personally, I would prefer that to a plugin. And then as far as like Link Juice Keeper goes, again, is that an issue? I don't know. It's probably better. Well, it's not probably. It's definitely better just to do it with WordPress. Okay, I mean, if you know where your pages are coming from, just have them do it yourself. Have your web guy do it. If you have pages that have no value, no PR, and they go to 404s or 401s, then great. That's what they're supposed to do. I mean, I can't help but think that if 100% of the links that go to your site end up pointing to the home page, there's not a single broken link on your page. I don't know. I'm not saying that I have some proof or anything, but that just doesn't seem natural to me. It just doesn't seem natural. It seems to me like a footprint. So I typically take the ones that are the pages I know have traffic or juice, and I will sculpt those however I choose to as far as what I point them to. Let's see. Does RankWiz only post to WordPress? No. RankWiz actually, I could do 10 hours on just RankWiz. RankWiz has two purposes. RankWiz, I use RankWiz to post directly to my sites because it allows me to use my proxies. So I use it to feed the content like I show in the training, but also the primary purpose of RankWiz and FCS Networker and other tools is to build Web 2.0 properties to use, to rank your sites. So on the topic of posting, there's a bunch of ways to do that. There's a Scrapebox plugin. It's actually called Article Scraper. I think it's $10. Maybe it's $20. I don't know. It's not more than 20. Again, use it with proxies, okay? But you can use this plugin to post to all your WordPress sites. And again, as long as you're using proxies, you're good. You don't have to worry about a footprint on that. And you can use the Scrapebox Automator to automate that as well. Let's see. When we use Jetpack, Publicize, and Auto Post, doesn't that leave a footprint? Yes, it does leave a footprint, but is it a bad footprint? No. Jetpack, I think, is, if it's not the most downloaded plugin for WordPress, it's in the top 3 or 4. And using the Publicize feature is one of the most used features in Jetpack, because a lot of people, you can either pay, a service like OnlyWire, or Submitter Pro or whatever to do that for you, or you can use the free Jetpack, plugin. So if you don't want to use the Jetpack plugin, if you think that's a footprint, like a negative one, then again, you can use different CMSs like Joomla and Drupal, or if you want to, you can use something like If This Then That, okay, to automate that process. And if you're not familiar with If This Then That, you should probably get familiar with it. I actually teach this in my coaching program. And basically what it is, if you're a programmer, you'll understand that terminology. That's how a lot of things work in programming. If this happens, then that happens. So this is a service that's free that you sign up for, and what it allows you to do is it allows you to create what it calls our recipes. And so a recipe could be like this. You hook in your Facebook, or you hook in your WordPress account, and you hook in your Facebook account, okay? And then you create a recipe, and the recipe says that anything that gets posted to your WordPress gets posted to your Facebook, okay? And that's a recipe, all right? And so it does the same thing that Publicize does, right? But if you use If This Then That, you can get really creative. So, for instance, people will do it where every time you upload an image to Flickr, it will automatically post to your Facebook page, But you can use it for all kinds of stuff. It's not just images. You can use it with audio and video, and there's all kinds of creative ways. So I suggest, if you're not using that, at least look into it. It's just Google it. If This Then That, ifttt.com, I think is what it is. And if you're nervous about getting that set up, just go on Fiverr, man. Go on Fiverr and type in ifttt, okay? And there's a ton of people on there that will hook up your accounts in it and set up recipes for you, and all kinds of cool stuff. I'll tell you, there's a lot of good ways to automate that for network or information intelligence too. If you use a thing like BuzzBlogger, or BuzzBundle, which is a social media monitoring tool. You put in, Alex Becker, okay, into that tool. Then anytime Alex Becker gets mentioned on Facebook or Twitter or any of these places, you're going to get like a little notification. And then you can use that to do additional stuff, okay? So you can watch your competition, for instance, see what they're doing, where are they getting posts, where are they getting, social media, likes and things, You can also do it for, content. You can say, hey, if you're in the photography niche, go in there and in a BuzzBundle and, throw in, the top 20 or 30 photography people. Every time they post something, you've got potential content there, okay? So there's lots of uses for those kind of tools. Let's see. Is it a no-no to put high-quality spins on Web 2.0s with links to your money site? Yes. I have a rule. I have kind of like my own little top 10, commandments for SEO. And number 3 is thou shalt not use spun content. And number 4 is thou shalt not point links to your money site that thou does not control. Okay? So 2 rules in there that are being violated basically, because spun content is a no-no. And number 2, Web 2.0, although you may control it today, you may not control it tomorrow. Again, they can take that away from you anytime. So, definitely don't, try not to do that. Let's see. Can you guys still hear me okay? I'm getting a little thing from the GoToWebinar saying that sound quality is degraded. Okay. Pretty good? Pretty good. All right, good. All right, let's see. Let me do just a couple more, guys. Let's see. The social media monitoring tool I mentioned is called Buzz Bundle, okay? And it is, I think it's about $100. Maybe it's $200. It's the same people that make, dang, I think it's SEO Power Suite. And that program, I think, kind of sucks, actually, overall. But the Buzz Bundle is really good. I mean, you can hook in all of your social media accounts into it. It's kind of like a control panel. I wish I had let me look here real quick and see if mine, whenever I try to do stuff live, seems like it never works. But let me look real quick and see if I can pull mine up for you, just to give you an idea. And again, obviously there are no affiliate links or anything in here, guys. I'm just telling you what I use. So let me see if it'll pull up real quick. I normally use it off of a VPS, so it may not even launch off my PC, or it may be expired or whatever. Let me see. Yeah, it's already expired, I guess. I actually don't even use it on here. I use it on a VPS. So, oh well. Sorry about that. But they do have a free trial on this deal. I'm pretty sure that it's they give you 30 days or something. Hold on, let me see. Is it? No. Let me see. Hold on. Maybe it looks like maybe it's pulling up here. Is it going to pull up? No, okay. This will take too long for right now. But you see what the interface looks like, basically. And so what you're going to do when this is done is you're going to put in some keywords and some things. Oh, there's one of mine. Let me try another one here. See if it comes up. All right. Well, it's not going to. I think this was just a test I was doing anyway. But you basically put in your keywords, and then let's say this was your social media accounts. You could put in all of yours, like for a client. Let's say you're doing social media marketing for a client. You could put all your clients in here, okay? And then it's one kind of way to control everything, to watch everything. All right. Let's see. Someone asked about SendWire. SendWire's good. Good thing. It's kind of a pain in the ass to learn. Send, S-Y-N-D-D, is a social media thing to get social signals with. It's kind of a pain in the ass to set up, to be honest with you. But basically, you have a network and you basically share social signals with people is what happens. You pay for credits, and you like other people's stuff and they like your stuff. Let's see. Snap, yeah, social networks auto poster. Someone just posted that in here. That's one that's pretty good too, to do the same thing as like Publicize. I've also used that. Remember though, as far as if you're using these distribution tools for real social media marketing, not just to generate social signals for SEO, but if you have actual clients and you're doing social media marketing for it, remember that when you use a tool like OnlyWire or Hootsuite, remember that Facebook for sure, and maybe other ones, are actually, they're kind of, we're restricting those in a way. They're not giving those posts the same kind of juice as direct generated posts. So be careful with that. Right now, if you do a post on someone's wall, for a client, let's say you do a post, on Facebook. Right now, I think you've got something like a 20% chance of ending up on their newsfeed, something like that. I think the last time I read it. If you use a social syndication tool, like Snap or Hootsuite or OnlyWire, then you're lowering that. So just be careful about that. So again, if you're using it for social signals, that's good. If you're using it for legit social media, I would skip on that. For anyone that just came in late, yes, this is being recorded. Hopefully, I see the little red light on, but I know that sometimes that happens and it doesn't. Is it safe to use Google Analytics / Webmaster Tools in a PBN? I don't do that just because it's a pain in the ass. So there's tools like Clicky and Pwiki that you can use if you need analytics for your websites. I don't see any reason at all to have Google Analytics or Google Webmaster Tools on my PBNs. There's other tools that do the same thing that don't have the direct contact. So can you do it? Sure, absolutely you can. But if you're going to do that, I would highly suggest that you have a specific browser that you use only, for that like account that you log in with, and make sure that you're using hide my ass or some other type of proxy for that. Okay. Let's see. Yes, I know that hide my ass will turn over your stuff if they get subpoenaed. I am aware of that, but I'm not worried about getting subpoenaed for this. They're only going to subpoena you if you break the law. So they're not going to subpoena court records from hide my ass because someone posted something on a blog. Let's see. All right, I think that's about it. Oh, someone asked about a straight HTML site. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The more diversity that you have, the better. And so, again, I would probably tell you that if you had 10 PBNs, I'd probably have one Drupal, one Joomla, one static HTML, one that's maybe, a wiki or something like that. And then, the other 5-ish can be WordPress. Okay. But honestly, these aren't hard to set up. They're really not. I mean, I know some of you guys, thought it was a pain in the ass to learn WordPress or whatever if you're doing it yourself. If you've taken the time to learn WordPress, then when you jump into Drupal and Joomla or any of these other ones, Xmod or whatever, they're all basically the same. And you're not doing super complex sites. So, all right, so I'll tell you the last little thing that I'm going to say, and then we're going to call this a day on here. I want to reiterate on your legal pages, fill those suckers out, okay? When you get to the About Us, spend some time on there. Have a nice picture. Have a couple of paragraphs. On the Contact Us form, have a damn Contact Us. I'm sorry, on the Contact Us page, have a form on there. I don't care if it doesn't go anywhere, but have a form, okay? You know what? Put a map. If you put a physical address and you want to put a map on there, a Google map, do that too. Do all these things that, real sites do. As far as like the terms and conditions, privacy policy, all that kind of stuff, you can use a kind of a fairly generic template. Just use one of the larger ones. Okay, if you Google like privacy policy template, you're going to find a bunch on the front page. If you use any of those, you're fine. Because again, X number of thousands of 10,000s of websites have used those. So, vary them up a little bit. There's also plugins that you can get for that. But, please don't, if I were to look at one of your sites, if you were to say, okay, it's done, would you do a site review for me? And I look at one of your sites and you don't have, About Us, Contact Us, a privacy policy, all that stuff. I mean, it's basically a waste of everyone's time. Just do those basic things, okay? Do the basic stuff that I show in the course. Let's see. I'm just looking through the questions real quick. I think that's about it. So I'll tell you what I still owe you guys. I still owe you, again, the stuff on penalized domains. So I will either be putting up a video on this in the members area, or I may, if they will allow it, I may share some that's already been put up by some of our partners. Okay? And so I think that's it. I think that's it for now. Other questions, again, as far as if they are specifically related to PBN safety, I'll do my best to answer. But I can't do like my whole ranking strategy in this course. I just can't. I have coaching students, and I'm very likely that I'm going to kind of expand that program here soon to be able to help more people. But right now, it's just not something that I can share. So when I can, I will. I'll tell you, like the press release part that I put in there, that is from my main coaching program. The press release kind of bonus that I gave you guys, that's directly from there. I use that exact system. I use that exact provider. You can use other providers. But that one, I like them. I like what it does. And that's the only time I'll tell you that I violate my build links that you don't control. The only exception, the only asterisk to that I do is with the press release. Because once those press releases go out, I do not own those, so I can't take them back. So that's the only time I violate that rule. But press release sites in general are just super high quality sites, the ones that I submit to. And even the ones that are lower quality, as long as they're not, they don't say SEO, don't submit to a press release like called SEO press releases. I mean, come on, don't do that. But as long as you stick to the big ones or you stick to the provider that I put in there, and again, to reiterate, I'm not getting a kickback. I don't get an affiliate fee or whatever, okay? Joe is the guy. Joe's the guy that I use for press releases because he does a good job and he's a good guy, okay? So anyway, so I'm going to wrap it up for now. Any other questions we can go through in the group. I will be, like I said, I'll be putting up something next week about trying to recover penalized domains, okay? And otherwise, again, I want to tell you guys how much I appreciate your support. I appreciate everybody for coming inside. I see you guys, as partners with me in this. I see, if you lose a network, if someone tells me that they just lost their whole network, to Google, what I see in my head is I see food like leaving people's table is what that means to me personally. I don't see this as, like you guys are big fat cats and, that's just 20 out of your 8 million, things. Most of you guys in here, a lot of you I know personally, and I know that this is your livelihood. This is the way that you put food on the table, and this is real and it's serious. And so, I am taking it seriously, and I hope that you understand that that's my intention, for this. My intention is to try to give you the best information possible to be able to protect that investment because, make no mistake, it's absolutely an investment. If you have a solid blog network, it absolutely is a money-generating machine for you as an SEO. It can absolutely help you long term. So anyway, I'd like to thank you all again for attending and for purchasing the course. I will have, as the next bonus materials come out, I will make sure that I get that out to you guys. Last time I did a MailChimp, and again, guys, I'm not Mr. Joe like selling courses, okay? So bear with me on the processes. I got like a 60-something% open rate in MailChimp on the emails. It doesn't bother me because I'm trying to like make more money off of you, but it does bother me if you're not opening your emails because you're not getting what you paid for, because that's how I'm announcing the bonuses. So please, if you need to whitelist like stuff from @bulletproofseo.com or something, please do that. I want to make sure that y'all get everything that you have coming. I plan on giving at least one bonus thing each week, for the next couple of weeks, So anyway, thank you again for your time and your attention, and I will definitely see you guys in the Facebook groups. So take care. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Thanks again. Bye.